ask you to repeat that number of the amount of money that you have spent of your budget so far? I missed it. Was it 39 million? Did you say?
Senator, that was this financial year. In total, until the 28th of February this year, we spent 98.169 million.
So you spent 98.16 million of a Royal Commission budget that was allocated to you, not solely, but what is your overall funding envelope again, out of the 500 million that was allocated by the government generally?
Our direct budget is 310.912 million.
So that is a significant underspend of the budget to this point. Do you think that do you...
Sorry, can I just on that note, can I just confirm, do you agree, do you accept the Senator's proposition that it is a significant underspend? I just wondered if officials could answer that question.
Well, Madam Chair, it certainly is an underspend, and it certainly is running below budget for where we budgeted for at this time of the commission.
And is there, just to clarify, sorry, Senator Steele-John, just to clarify, what's the reasons for the underspend, given your forecasts, say, 18 months ago?
One of the significant contributing factors was we had to suspend our public hearing program for up to 5 months, and all of our engagement activities, which were largely done in person in locations around Australia. Now, even with the resumption of our public hearing program, it has been largely virtual, at significantly less cost than actually taking the commissions to the public, so to speak. The plan always was that the commission is a national royal commission, and it should hold hearings around the country as well as in regional and remote Australia. We have not been able to do that, and that is a significant contributing factor for that underspend.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Chair asked the question that I was going to ask.
Yeah, thank you.
So, thank you for that. It would seem to me that then, if the government was to grant you an extension of any period of time, would you then be able to reallocate some of the underspent money to the forward 17 months, or would that be something you'd have to discuss in coordination with the department?
I'll pass to Ms Appleton in a moment. My understanding is that we can reallocate that money forward to any period of extension that the Commission has granted. Is that...
That's correct. The extension that the Chair requested can be funded within our existing budget.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. Well, I'll now ask you, I'm going to draw your attention to a quant, so just a heads up there. But during budget estimates on the 23rd of October, I asked you a series of questions about your processes for ensuring that witness giving evidence in public hearings were not in fact perpetrators of or implicated in violence, abuse, neglect or exploitation of disabled people. Now this came to light, if you remember, following the revelation that the Commission had put as an expert witness on the stand someone who had overseen the mistreatment of a disabled woman under his care. And that particular QAN is LCC-BE 20-82. Have you got that in front of you?
Just give me a moment, Senator, and I'll pull it up. I do, Senator.
And in that section, you said that you were, quote, constantly reviewing your vetting processes as part of, basically as part of your normal work, is what I understand you to have been meaning there. Can you give me an update as to exactly what concrete measures you have taken since we have discussed this matter last in October to prevent a situation like this happening again?
Essentially, Senator, our legal team, who's responsible for locating witnesses that appear at public hearings, did have undertaken a range of checks for witnesses appearing at our hearings. They continue to do so, but I think as a result of the issue to which you refer, the open source review and investigation and vetting of witnesses is much more thorough. We also have a police investigations team attached to the Royal Commission, and as and when appropriate, if there are any red flags that come up as part of that initial process, they're passed to our police vetting team who will conduct further investigations. I might add, as was noted in the answer to the Quan, we're always conscious of not unduly interfering with the privacy of individuals who give evidence before the Royal Commission, including people with disabilities. So it's something of a balancing act, but we're ensuring or trying to ensure that we're always improving those processes. And we feel reasonably comfortable, given the hearings we've had since the one you referred to, that they're travelling pretty well.
Thank you. Can you, because of course this is an issue of a significant concern in relation to making sure that people, particularly survivors, feel safe to engage with the Commission. Could you just outline for us a bit more in relation to the thoroughness that has been implemented? What was there previously, and what has now changed in terms of your process, so that people can have confidence?
Senator, it might be best if I take that on notice, because I'd rather prefer to give you a thorough answer to that question to ensure that you do have the confidence in our processes and procedures. So if I can take it on notice, I'll come back to you.
Excellent. And
Mr. Cronin, I just want to also reflect my concern in relation to this matter. I'm actually disappointed that you aren't able to answer this question. I think Senator Steele-John did raise a very significant issue as to ensuring that no expert witness has any cloud over him or her in relation to their own background. And I just want to put on record my disappointment that you haven't been able to more adequately answer this question today.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since the issue that the Senator referred to, we've had a number of public hearings that have included many witnesses, many expert witnesses, many academics and others. All of those witnesses have been through the type of vetting process I described, which is an open source vetting process conducted by our legal team, and as I said, is necessary passed to our police team for further investigation if necessary. We have not had a repeat of that one particular instance. We sincerely regret that that incident occurred, and it's clearly our intention that that would not happen again.
Just to be clear, so you were not previously vetting witnesses before the Royal Commission? Is that the case?
That's not the case, Madam Chair. We were vetting witnesses from our first hearing onwards. I think it's fair to say that the process that our legal team now pursues has been significantly tightened up and is more thorough than perhaps it was beforehand.
Well, I would like to just, in support of the question by Senator Steele-John, you've said that you have tightened up your processes. How precisely have you tightened up your processes?
I'll take it on notice, Madam Chair. It's our legal team that conducts those checks, and I prefer to have them provide a fulsome response.
What, do they have more resources? Are there more checks being made? You don't have any information at all in relation to that quite serious matter?
There are more checks being made. The checks are more thorough. The open source checks that are being made are more thorough. And as I said, we have the resources of a police investigation team to refer matters to as and when necessary.
So you've brought this police investigation team into your staff since this incident occurred?
No, that investigation team has always been with us. It discharges a range of responsibilities, but one of which it is now involved in is that follow-up on any witnesses as necessary.
Thank you. Or to the extent that you can add further information on notice, we welcome that. Senator Steele-John.
Thank you. And can I also ask in follow-up to that whether you have passed this new, more rigorous process over expert witnesses that had given evidence previous to the incident that we flagged in October. So I'd like to know whether this new process that you've developed in response to the situation that occurred has also been retrospectively applied to witnesses that you have been taking since the beginning of the Commission, so that we can have confidence in the rigorous nature of the evidence that has been given.
Thank you, Senator. We'll take that on notice. We'll come back to you.
Thank you. I've just got a couple more, Chair, if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. I do like the double act, though. You know,
Yes,
this is an unexpected development of the day, I have to say.
Well, Senator Steele-John, I share your profound concerns about that matter, and
Yes.
It's one that I think we all need to take very seriously.
Yes, it definitely is. It definitely is. Can I take you now to question on notice number LCC-BE 208-80, where you stated that you were conducting at the time approximately 16 private sessions per week, and that you intended to undertake 136 private sessions by the end of 2020. You then followed it up with a public statement on the 13th of March, where you stated that 700 people had requested private sessions, and that to that point, 219 had been completed. So I'm wondering first, can you provide me with an update of the weekly rate of private sessions?
I'll ask Ms Kerry to address that, Senator.
Senator, I can give you some updated figures as of 19th of March, if that would be helpful, some more recent figures. So currently our total registrations as of 19th of March are 949. We've had 135 withdrawals and have held to date 247 private sessions. That's as of 19th of March, which brings the average number of private sessions held per week to approximately 18.
Approximately 18. And so we've got 18 being completed per week. Sorry, I missed that. What's the current request figure?
The current request figure, the total registrations are 949, but taking out the total held to date and the withdrawals, it brings the total number of people waiting for a private session to 567. 567.
And what's the wait time? How long have people been waiting of that 567?
Senator, the wait time varies considerably, and it's dependent on a number of factors, our scheduling. I'd be happy to run you through some of those detailed factors if that's helpful in understanding the differences that people might experience in wait times.
It would be more useful for me if I could get that on notice, if that's possible. My follow-on question was going to be, given the disparity in some of those figures, is the need to get through the private sessions process another driving factor behind the need for an extension to the Commission's life, so that you can actually get to those pieces of evidence from people?
Senator, I think irrespective of an extension decision, we will be seeking as far as possible to see everyone who has requested a private session if possible. That's certainly our intention. Obviously, with an extension, we would expect to be able to conduct more private sessions than if we didn't have one.
Okay. Now, as far as I'm aware, the Royal Commission is yet to hold hearings in states other than those on the East Coast. Additionally, last time we spoke about staffing in relation to the Royal Commission, there was, some evidence given that spoke to a rather East Coast-centric nature of your staffing structure. Observing your work plan for 2021, as far as dates and locations that you have given so far, still don't appear to be outside of Sydney and Brisbane. So I'm wondering when we will see public hearings in Tasmania, NT, South Australia, the ACT, and Western Australia.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. I suspect that has much to do with COVID-19 and vaccine rollouts, for example. We are as keen as you to take the Commission nationally and have hearings throughout Australia as well as regional and rural Australia. You might recall that to date we have not had a hearing that's been open to the public to attend since COVID-19 arrived in March of last year. At the moment, our plan is for our service provider hearings in late May, to be, things go well, to be open to the public and potentially in a location or locations other than just Sydney and Adelaide. But that's, to give you some idea of some of the difficulties we deal with, Senator, we were doing some engagement in Adelaide earlier this year when we thought COVID had started to recede. That was when there was a particular hotspot declared in Adelaide and we had to pull some people out of there at very short notice to get them back to Sydney. So it remains a work in progress. We're very keen to get the Commission out to Australia to deal with the folks in regional, rural and capital cities as soon as we can.
Okay, one last question then, and then I'll finish up. So we seem to be in a situation where you could fund your 17-month extension request within the footprint of your current budget. That's what Ms. Appleton said to us, correct?
That is correct.
Being able to have that extension would enable you to go to what is almost the majority of states and territories, which the Commission has not yet visited, correct?
Subject to COVID-19,
yes, of course.
That would be our expectation, yes.
It would enable you to gather more evidence, more individual stories, potentially more systemic information that would inevitably strengthen and broaden the quality of your recommendations, correct?
Certainly would allow us to have more hearings, do more engagement, receive more submissions and undertake more private sessions.
And so
therefore means we'll deal with our terms of reference, correct?
Thank you. And therefore stands to reason, doesn't it, that any time granted to you less than 17 months, for instance 6 months or 8 months, would reduce the amount to which you could undertake those activities and gather that information, correct?
Senator, that's something we would have to look at depending on the length of the extension.
Sounds like a no-brainer to me that we get this thing done, give you a bit more time. Thank you very much. I'll put some more questions on notice.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you very much, Senator Steele-John, and I thank officers from the Royal Commission into Violence, Abuse, Neglect and